expert, and I interview professionals in real estate and investment fields to help us be more successful in our practice, to help our clients, and for families looking to build their income and wealth to be more successful at that. One of the key partners in the team is going to be an accountant, somebody who both can provide the necessary forms, can provide the bookkeeping review of your finances, and also what's appropriate for your business. And so I've had the pleasure of working with Michael Wander, both as a trust accounting firm handling a trust matter, but he's also very familiar with real estate investing. That's a different type of accounting that some firms don't do. So I want to grab a few minutes with him today and introduce to those who don't know Michael Wander. Michael, how are you?
Hi, Bill. I'm doing great. Thank you very much. Thanks for having me today. Excited to be here.
Yeah, and it's Wander CPA in Los Angeles, right?
Yes, sir.
And so just a little background. Where'd you grow up? You have a little bit of an accent that doesn't sound like Los Angelino native. So where'd you grow up? And then how'd you get in accounting?
So the first 10 years of my life was spent overseas. My parents loved to travel. So I was born in Tunisia, 7 other siblings, all born across the globe. And then when I was about 10 years old, we moved to the US. My parents were more or less second generation from the United States. So we moved back here, moved to California, lived in Seattle, did my undergraduate degree over there, went out to Israel, lived over there for a few years. And then I came back stateside and pursued my MBA and CPA. So moved to my MBA in New York, moved back out here to California, where my wife, who I met a few years prior, she grew up. And so I moved out here, got a job out here, and was working locally. And a few years later, decided that it was a good time for me to branch off on my own. So
nice.
Take this here today.
Nice. So your wife grabbed you here from New York. My daughter did the same thing. She's a native Los Angelino and met a boy from New York and brought him here. So good. Well, welcome. And you've been here practicing as an accountant for how long?
So moved out here to California 2014, got my CPA a couple of years later. And so, yeah, I've been out here since then. Was working for PwC for a few years, was working for a bank for a few years, mid-sized City National Bank during the acquisition when it was acquired by the Royal Bank of Canada, the Treasury Department, or in their special we supported a lot of departments. We supported the Treasury Department, we supported a lot of departments with their mergers and acquisitions as well. And then it was then when I decided that I really wanted to be back in public accounting and really wanted to have my own practice. Started picking up some clients while I was working, and just really enjoyed working one-on-one, working directly with the clients and providing the various services that small businesses, growing businesses, that they need, that they don't necessarily have access to when it comes to larger firms. So yeah, so it's been, I think I'm coming up on my 3-year anniversary pretty soon, where I've been full-time independently. But yeah, so prior to that, kind of getting my feet wet a little bit. Actually, it's funny, I have a young lady who works with us over here in the office, and she's actually, we kind of joke around, but she's actually been with Wander CPA longer than I've been. She was here prior to my going full time. I sort of thought about, as a lot of entrepreneurs, I think, as they're working 9 to 5, okay, how can I do both? I kind of don't want to jump in just yet, not necessarily certain about how that's going to work. So we try to have somebody else do the work while we still keep our W-2 job. So she's been here longer than I've been, but yeah, so it's been about 3 years for myself full time in this business.
I remember when I met you, you were just in the final stages, getting ready to launch. I don't think you didn't tell me that at the time. In retrospect, I now know it because I remember we had breakfast one day, and then I later saw you had launched your own firm. I thought, wow, he talked about it, but he actually did it. How exciting. I've been self-employed, I've been in real estate for a long time. So I know the advantages, but to see somebody do that, had the courage to jump out, is just very exciting. And I was really proud to watch it happen, though I also felt compelled to help. And I know we did some marketing together, and then I know I referred a client to you did a great job with. So I feel committed to your success at this point. So anyhow, glad to know that. And then just real quick, What a great view on the side there. Now, this isn't just a fancy Zoom background. That's real life. And you're facing what, Robertson Boulevard?
Yes, this is Robertson Boulevard, right here, right in the heart of Pico Robertson.
Yeah.
Yeah, so when COVID hit a couple of years back, I guess it was, I was, when I first started working for on my own, I was working in my home office. It was very nice to have, nice tax deduction, and it was good. It had its challenges. Sometimes it would have a little bed inside of there. We'd put a little bed inside of there if a guest wanted to sleep over. So, but it was very nice. And as kind of around the same time when COVID hit, and there were a lot of small businesses that needed assistance with their PPP loans and different stimulus packages. So business started picking up a little bit. Also, we hired another employee. So then there were 3 of us in the office, this home office. Got a little bit cozy, and then when the kids stayed home from school,
Yeah.
you know how much more exciting kids are than numbers.
Yeah.
So it got a little challenging to just focus and get the work done. And then also at the same time, a lot of office buildings opened up because people started working from home. So there was a lot of vacancies. So they were willing to give good rates, to negotiate this and that. So found this beautiful little place right near the 5 minutes from my house.
Yeah.
And so that's
I've been there. It's real nice. It's great location and it's convenient. And I live in Pico Robertson, so it's a fantastic place for people there. But parking on the street with meters and rent up real quick and nice little office. So congratulations on building all that. So let's talk a little about your business. I know that from personal experience, you deal with and are familiar with probate accounting and trust accounting. Tell me a little bit about that. How'd you get into that, and what does that look like? And how is it that you do a good job on that compared to other people?
So really, kind of, there was kind of got into it. I don't want to say just by chance. Really, there was an opportunity that arose. There was, I believe, trying to remember, there was a client. I was actually speaking with an attorney. I just, when you're working for yourself, you kind of just randomly will speak with people and kind of have to put yourself out there a little bit. So I was walking with this attorney and I started speaking with him about what I do. And it turned out he was an attorney for a trust case that was going on. And so it was an attorney for a trust. He was providing services for them, and they were looking for a CPA, somebody to help them with that. So that was kind of my first introduction to trust accounting. And yeah, I think it provides, there's a lot of opportunities over there. There's a lot of unique accounting and rules when it comes to trust and probate accounting. There's definitely still a lot that we are still learning over here. And I'm sure you can't be a jack of all trades. We can't know everything. So that's why we have to surround ourselves with good people, with people that know they have a nice niche area that kind of focuses specific areas. So that's kind of what I'm trying to do as a business owner, as a CPA. I realize that there are different services that different clients, different people need, and different small businesses need. And so just trying to do a few things simultaneously, right? Educate myself to be the most potent, powerful, educated that I can in my area. At the same time, surround myself by people, hiring people, partnering up with people that are kind of that are experts in other areas as well, that can kind of complement each other or things like that. So we actually have a young lady who works actually the same person who I was mentioning earlier. She's really been delving deep a lot into probate accounting and trust accounting as well. So she's been a tremendous, invaluable asset as far as that end goes. But yeah, that's kind of the sort of the start with it. Had a few other clients working here and there. Still, there's a lot of tax benefits with trust accounting, so yeah, maybe that could be a focus of another meeting sometime, kind of delving into a deep dive into those different tax benefits of it. But again, like I said, there's so many different areas, and so just surrounding myself by knowledgeable people in those areas has been really, really pivotal.
Yeah, I mean, you get actually. Now I think about it, I've used it twice. Once I referred a client to you, and you did a good job, and then I had a family matter that came up, and so the first was probate, second was trust, but they're related, and you did a nice job on both of them. I know one of your other and I think related specialties, because there's so much of trust accounting involves real estate, is real estate accounting, and I know that some accountants shy away from the particulars of real estate, or it requires particular experience in how to handle real estate as a business, not necessarily how to handle one or two properties, but for an investor who buys and sells property or develops property or adds to it and such. Describe a little bit about the unique challenges of doing work in accounting for a person whose business is real estate.
Sure, yes. So, I mean, real estate is one of those industries, or one of those asset classes that is unique in the sense that it really doesn't disappear. So all other, I mean, if we talk about real estate, there's really two different aspects to the real estate from my perspective. There's the land and then there's the building. And so the land is never going to disappear, right? The land is always going to be here, and the land is there's a finite amount of land. So in that sense, the land is really probably, I would say, the most valuable asset on the planet. That and maybe gold. But really, land, I feel you can't really live on gold. Build a building on it and live there. So land is just tremendous. So now the buildings that go on it, buildings can change. The buildings can change from a single family to a large skyscraper to multifamily, and that becomes a depreciable portion of it. So there's really some unique tax laws in the United States, and from what I understand internationally as well, although there's going to be some nuances, that allow for the depreciation of a building. And when a person purchases a rental property, for example, the way I've heard it described is you're really purchasing a business, because it has all the aspects of business. It has cash flow, basically runs itself for the most part. Yes, you have to have some management. You have to have, put some maintenance. Obviously, there are expenses that are involved with running any business, but that's really what purchasing real estate is, the way we view it and the way it is, from our perspective. So then the laws, there's going to be a lot of different facets and different aspects of real estate investing as well. And so, a few of the areas that we focus in and specialize in are going to be for the multifamily real estate investors. And so we really try to help sometimes you come across some first-time investors, but usually it's going to be somebody who's done a little bit of investing, or at least they're a little bit farther along in the process where they're ready to pull the trigger. We do have those conversations sometimes with somebody who's saying, they're thinking maybe in a few years they want to start that preparation process. We kind of can help show them what it will look like in the future. But yeah, the real estate, if you think about it, you're able to depreciate it. You're able to depreciate the property, and you can have a negative net income. You can have a net loss that will offset your, if somebody is a professional, if they have a W-2 income, it can offset your W-2 income. So whereby a person could end up paying zero taxes. Now I know a lot of people ask about, Trump pays zero taxes or very low taxes. Amazon pays zero taxes. And so they think it's automatic that, just because that everybody should just pay zero taxes. They just say, well, they make a lot more money than I do. They pay zero taxes. So it should just be automatic that I should pay zero taxes as well. It's not automatic, but there are definitely ways utilizing the tax law that will enable a person to varying degrees cut down on their income tax. Now, there are going to be different types of taxes. There are income taxes, there are employment taxes, there are different sales taxes, not with real estate per se, but there are different types of taxes. But there definitely are ways utilizing real estate that we think about, we learn about, we help with, that can drastically decrease a person's income taxes. And just off the top, what's called a mom and pop's deduction for everybody. You don't have to be a real estate professional, and real estate professional does not mean somebody with a real estate license. As far as the tax code is concerned, anybody can deduct up to $25,000 against their ordinary income. So they don't have to be a real estate professional for that. It's called a mom and pop's deduction. So, that could be a significant cash back in someone's pocket. I mean, anywhere between $5,000 and $10,000, depending on their tax bracket.
Right.
So that's, and then beyond the $25,000 is going to depend on varying situations, scenarios, if they're a real estate, if they qualify as a real estate professional, one of the spouses or either, et cetera.
Which is great as a real estate professional. I made an investment 2 years ago into a limited partnership of $50,000, and part of the value was the tax benefit up front, because the way those investments are structured, in the first year, I got a K1 loss of $40,000 because of the depreciation. Now, complicated, but it doesn't mean they actually lost the money. It just means the way the income is accounted for spread out over time. But what was nice was in that year, as a result, I got about an $8,000 reduction in my taxes. So I invest $50,000 and I got $8,000 back from the IRS because of it, which does reduce the risk of the investment by that, $8,000 of $50,000 percentage, as well as, speeds up the payback process, which is what the government wants. The government wants us to invest money to build things, to create jobs and wealth. And so it's a fantastic opportunity that if you've not yet looked at, you should talk to your tax preparer, talk to Michael about. And if you're involved with real estate and you're professional, like you said, that $25,000 limit goes up. So I've done more multifamily since. I wish I could do more. Segueing a little bit, because one of my teachers in multifamily investing is Grant Cardone. I know you've been involved in his 10X program as well. Explain to me how the 10X affects the way you run your business as an entrepreneur, as well as how you Siri is such a Badinsky, how you maybe relate to customers as well who are looking to rapidly grow their business.
Yeah, so I mean, for me, I started off listening to Uncle G, Grant Cardone, when I was at the bank, City National Bank, and I heard about him through one of his, I wouldn't say a serious detractor, but somebody who basically said, not everybody is Grant Cardone. Basically, not everybody is Grant Cardone. Talking about Grant Cardone is big into investing in large multifamily. He wants people to invest with his syndications or any syndications, but he's also very, he also, certain times they'll also say for certain people it might make sense to invest in a smaller deal, do it yourself. The way he kind of did it, he first started off with a single family and then he moved up from there. Yeah, I mean, for me, the 10X is really it's just a growth mindset, right? I mean, the idea of 10Xing your income, 10Xing your the things that you find valuable in life, right? There's time, spending the valuable time you spend with your family. That's really what, for me, 10X is about. And somebody, I know he has some detractors, and 10X, people can call it whatever they want to call it, right? Just a growth mindset, just really just, and to maximize our own individual potential and not putting those limitations on our mind. So yeah, I mean, it definitely, there's a lot of people that I'm connected to and connected with on social media and in person in real life that are part of the 10X movement, or there's a lot that are, we like to, our energies sort of attract each other. Right. And to be honest with you, there's this very, as a business owner and somebody who oftentimes, in accounting, oftentimes we sell our time for money because, somebody wants us to do a project for them that's going to take X number of hours. It's sort of different, I think, than in your industry, which is more transactional based. So here we do things sometimes transactionally based, which is, okay, prepare a tax return or this or that. But so it ends up, so yeah, I mean, so we're really trying to. I just lost my train of thought, to be honest with you.
Oh, okay. Well, I was just going to say that I think the 10X for me is, there's a saying that hungry dogs hunt best. And when I do business with somebody, whether it be a vendor, I refer business to, or like a partner, or a partner if I'm actually in a transaction with a vendor and need their services, um, that you want somebody who it's important, their business is important to them because they're trying to grow it. And I think there are people who are great at what they do, they're also complacent. And so we've all felt at times shuffled off to a lower level employee where we felt like, the person was too busy to take care of us as a client. Whereas 10X, if you're really trying to build your business and maybe considering scaling it up 10 times what it is now, then you're going to treat business differently. And I think to me, that's kind of defining my approach. I don't need to make 10 times more income. I'd love to, but I love the idea of being able to impact 10 times as many people.
Yes.
And leave as 10 times as deep a legacy financially in my business. So for me, it's about a mindset, like you said, of growing and improving and raising standards. And I know that you're involved in that too. I know you have played a little bit when there was some live events going on. And so that just became a fun thing to play with. But it's also a mindset. And I think you have that. And that's what, like I said, I used you for one piece of business and came back and referred you to some other business because of that. So, well, look, Michael, I obviously enjoy you. We've been together socially in the past, and we talk from time to time. But obviously, it's about business. So we'll wrap up a little bit. But if people want to get a hold of you to find out whether or not they had questions on how an investment they were considering, or looking for tax advice for their probate accounting or trust accounting or real estate investment business in particular, how would they reach out to you? How would they get a hold of you?
Sure. Yes. Appreciate it, Bill. The best way you could give a call here to the office. Our phone number. Is it okay if I give the phone number here?
Yeah, feel free.
310-894-3211. That's our office phone number over here. You could also send an email to me directly if you would like. The email address is michael@wandercpa.com, MICHAEL @WANDERCPA.com. And I'm on social media. I have a YouTube channel that I preparing some additional videos. Haven't posted as often as I would like, as I need to just yet. But Bill, you're re-inspiring me with your amazing consistency over here. I'm just making it happen.
Thanks.
And yeah, and Facebook as well. I'm on Facebook. I'm on the media channels, Michael Wander or Wander CPA. Yeah, so any one of those ways is great. Email is probably going to be the quickest. Email or phone call.
Great, Michael. Always a pleasure. Appreciate your time today, and thank you for helping me, and thank you for helping my customers in the past as well. I really appreciate it.